Hey folks, I went back to Brenton Sound recently within the last month, and I've been over there for quite a few trips, about probably three trips now. You know, I had spent a lot of time over on the west side of the river, more in the Terrebonne, Timberlier Bay area, but you know, just like over there, it has been a summer where jerkbaits have been working very well for me. You know, and I've been using this Rapala shadow wrap a lot this year in this olive green color, and it has a bill on it, so you get that heartbeat when you jerk it, and I like the feel of it. It's got the 3 treble hooks. This is a long, 4.5-inch bait. It's also caused a bit of problems for me.
That one sounds cool.
Put them on the tail and have that. And I'm having this is a bit of a mess. This big bait, relatively long bait, has been catching a lot of 10, 11-inch speckled trout, really small ones. And those guys, if you would have asked me a year ago, they should not be hitting on this bait. You know, when I started fishing jerkbaits, I started with the little, this is the 09 of the X-Wrap, and little diving bait with the bill, 2 treble hooks, relatively small lure, and I was catching, up to 4-pound trout on it. So I mean, it was being taken by the bigger ones, but I didn't catch a lot of small ones, but I did catch some. But as I progressed the last few years, I really wanted to catch, instead of catching numbers, I wanted to catch the bigger size trout that's available in our estuary. And again, okay, guys in Texas can laugh, and they're not really very big where I fish, but still I wanted to catch the bigger ones. And the bigger one means 20 inches these days. And actually, I mean, I haven't caught a 20-incher all summer. I mean, they've been 17, 18 inchers, but trout haven't been that big. And the little trout have been eating up this very long shadow wrap. I mean, really clobbering it. And that causes a problem because, and you get these 3 treble hooks, and the trout take it, and those little trout are, there's not much body there. And so by the time you got the jerkbait, extending down from the mouth, you can't grab the fish without getting a handful of hook. You take one hook off the trout, and then the thing's thrashing around. Those little ones do. They thrash around much more than the big ones. And then another hook is stuck in the fish, and then it's just so frustrating. And I'm not proud of the fact that it's very hard to disconnect those and return them to the water in good condition. Sometimes they get stuck 10 times by hooks. This is a wonderful idea. This is also a Rapala. This is a twitching minnow, and this is a really good design. You see those 2 large hooks there. I have never had issues with losing fish with those 2 hooks. Now, the reason I don't fish this as much and why I'm not fishing it right now is because it doesn't have a lip. And I really think that right now in the summer conditions, the lipped jerkbait versus this more twitch bait is just more, it's more attractive. It's getting more bites than the twitch bait does right now in the summertime. And ultimately, I'd like to switch all my jerkbaits to something like that with just the 2 hooks. But that poses another problem, and what I want is the manufacturer to do that, because they need to test these for balance, for action. What the manufacturers really need to do is come out with a line of hard baits, jerk baits, twitch baits, whatever, that are designed for the single hooks and not these multiple little trebles. I mean, these things are a nightmare to take. There's 9 hooks on there. Actually, there's only 8 because I broke one of them off, but there's 9 hooks on there, and it's a nightmare trying to get those things off.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, do you have barbless hooks?
No.
You
Take
might.
a look.
They're tiny barbs. Those are very tiny barbs.
Yeah.
This is the Rapala that David's killing them on.
Oh, that's no 12 inches there.
Oh, there's one too. This is yeah. Looks like keepers though, huh? Oh yeah.
Y'all sure are fighting little dudes. Tough little 13-inch trout.
So one thing I'm going to do to help solve this problem with unhooking, I mean, it's not perfect, but what I'm going to do is take pliers, and I'm just going to crush the barb, and then that way at least the barb isn't holding onto the fish when I'm trying to get the hooks out of it. You can also get hard baits with hooks that have very small barbs on them, and an example is the Rapala that David's fishing with in this video, and it's a scatter wrap. It has this U-shaped or cupped bill, so it jumps around. It's a jointed 9 size, and but it has very tiny barbs on the hook, and I mean the fish were falling off. I mean he'd bring them in the boat, and they would hit the deck, and then they would flop off of the hooks. And meanwhile, with my shadow wrap, I mean, it's taking like 3-4 minutes to extract the hooks from the fish. So, you know, as you can see in this trip, I actually stopped fishing this shadow wrap, and I switched to just a jig and swim bait. Yep. This one will keep. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're out here on this side now. This is a little one. This is a small one. I got it. You get back on your... This water's not got some stain in it, and I was getting some action with the shrimp Creole color, which is pretty light, but I'm going to try this really dark purple and got blue flake in it. See if I can see it any better. This is a keeper. Close. Oh yeah, that's definitely a keeper. Well, the purple is working. Purple color is working. Huh? Well, you gotta, maybe you stop bringing them in as fast. You're not putting as much pressure on them or something. Yeah. So this is the problem with this bait. It's not tough like the matrix shad, so It's completely ripped out, gone. Well, this one might keep. That'll keep.
You're going that purple.
No, I got back to shrimp creel now. So yeah, and you know, this trip out in Brenton Sound, we're out in the jetties along what was the old Mississippi River Gulf Outlet Channel, and this is way out in the jetties. And the fish action you're seeing here, and it was, you know, they were there. There was not a lot of big fish. Again, you know, there's a ton of throwbacks, and then there's some you know, 12 to 14s mixed in. I mean, there was actually a lot of probably 12 to 14s, but not as a ratio of the total mass. Maybe there's only 10-20% that were above 12, that were the 12 to 14, and we didn't see anything bigger than 14 inches. So it was a small group of fish, very plentiful group of fish. Whoa, man, he launched himself. Yeah, 13.
So that's a lot.
Small one.
Yeah, long.
Yeah. They're all like it's close to 12, but yeah, this situation had a lot of fish in a current flow that came around a point of rock jetty, and they were out there. It's kind of like a river out there, and so we were just anchored near the rocks and casting out into this river that was running kind of long parallel to the jetty for some distance, and trout was just hanging in there. You know, it's a typical situation where there's the right amount of current and moving bait, and these schools of trout, you know, just moving up and down, and you just wait till they come through, and when they do, they're all over the bait. So anyway, that's the story from today, and some of the things that I learned. And hey, if you want to keep up with me and you're not already a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I'm still perfecting this channel, and if you've got suggestions for me, they'd always be appreciated. Get out there and catch some fish.